91.3 RSU Radio. What's going on? I'm Karen Killowatt.
And I am TuRbO.
And you just heard from Clutch with 50,000 unstoppable watts.
Yes, it's off of their album Strange Cousins from the West, if you guys were curious. Before that, we had the Yvette Brothers requesting music. 10,000 Words was the name of that track. Going out to Connie and Katusa. And wow, the phone lines today?
Blowing up.
Blowing up.
It's awesome.
Yes, so thank you so much. For those of you that don't know the number, get it programmed into your phone, 343-7913, for your comment, your request, or your criticism. We'll take them all. There's a couple of things we still got to get to.
Yeah.
We've spent so much time talking about all these conspiracy theories. I don't know if we're going to really make the aliens. We'll have to save that for another show.
We're going to. Yeah.
Did have a listener call in. He wanted to be referred to as PJ's neighbor.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want to give his real name.
Okay.
But he was telling us a word.
But he's going to rat his neighbor out. That's awesome.
Right. There's a word called syzygy.
Okay.
It's SYZYGY, and it's kind of like the definition of what the word that they use to define planets lining up.
Gotcha.
So that's what that is. But yeah, there you go. A tidbit for you guys. Syzygy. SYZYGY. Go Wikipedia it, and you can learn about it. Also, he was telling us about the leader of the Mayan religion. You know that there was one, that everybody is misinterpreting the Mayan calendar, and that it's not that it ends; it's that it's the end of a cycle. So I guess
the end of an age,
or the end of 2010. When we roll over December 31st, 2010. What do? We flip open a new calendar that says January, 1st, 2011.
Yeah.
So that's essentially, I guess, what I got from what he was telling me.
It's not like some deep,
dark meaning. It kind of just a little over every 5,000 years. It just kind of restarts essentially.
Right on. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So that was that. And a quick thank you to Kathy Coomer, our general manager. She called in and was telling us about some of the Y2K stuff we were talking about earlier.
Oh, right.
And the station that she was working for in Kansas, I had to do a whole piece on that, and she was saying, I don't know if you remember because you were younger, but there were people canceling plane flights and whatever else because they were scared that the planes were just going to drop out of the sky.
Yeah, I was in 7th grade.
Yeah, people were pulling all their money out of banks and stuff like that.
I remember people stocking up on water and canned food and batteries and stuff like that, just freaking out. But my family was like, whatever, just relax, it's gonna be okay.
I wonder if that was an actual conspiracy. They literally they did that on purpose to kind of give the economy a little bit of a pop, or
maybe. I mean, let's do it now.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Let's
maybe
say
it'll
that
help.
Next week's Culture Shock is going to do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Speaking of next week's Culture Shock, we're working on a few new guests. We got a fire spinner.
Yeah, that's going to be so cool.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, she uses fire kois, or is it poi?
Poi. It's poi.
Yeah, fire pois, and they light them on fire. Obviously, they're connected to chains, and they just spin them around, do a bunch of cool stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff. So we're working on that. We're also working on some dream interpreters.
We are.
We spoke with them today.
Yes, we did.
And we're going to try to get them on next week.
Okay.
They're going to do a recorded interview with us, so we'll talk to them about some dream interpretations.
Right on.
We also have a psychologist.
Yes, Dr. Waller from here at RSU.
Yeah, he is confirmed for July 1st show.
Okay.
Yeah, so not next Thursday, but the following, and we're going to be talking about psychological oddities.
And you know what? If you have a question or want him to talk about a specific psychological oddity, you should email us
at cultureshock913@hotmail.com.
Or you could Twitter it to us because we need fans on Twitter, guys. Come on.
We have one follower, and it's you.
Me.
Right.
And I don't count.
At cultureshock913. Friend up with us on Twitter. We want to talk to you while we're here in the studio. Right now, we got a short break to roll through. We're running a bit over, and when we come back, we're going to do some stuff from Them Crooked Vultures. We still have a giveaway.
That's right.
We're going to do that right about the time that I do TuRbO Tidbits at about 5:30 or so, and then we also have Strange, Stupid, Silly Stories.
We do,
which I'm excited about because there's one in particular I want to hear.
Yes.
Yeah, and then well, of course, we got another break after that. So yeah, much more to come here on the Culture Shock Show. And, roll through this break, come back, get some music, and we'll be back in a bit. Keep it here.
91.3
RSU Radio.
This is Real College Radio. True alternative music.
And now, for TuRbO Tidbits!
That's right, it's tidbits of information that you did want to know that you don't want to know. Tidbits that are pointless or have a point. Maybe you knew them, maybe you didn't. Worst case scenario, you'll have something to talk about during an awkward moment of silence or to use as an icebreaker to start conversation. All right, so this week in TuRbO's Tidbits, we were talking about some conspiracy theories, misconceptions, all that type of stuff. So I thought, this week, why not do something on a lot of misconceptions that people have about, say, historical things.
I like it.
First of which is Christopher Columbus. Did you know that there are 3 interpretations of what Christopher Columbus looks like?
No, I didn't know that.
Yet no one knows which one is correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's that. The story goes is he went to Queen Isabella of Spain, and he set out on a mission to prove that the Earth wasn't flat. This is what all of us learned as children.
Yeah, in history class, right?
Oddly enough, Aristotle had already figured out that the Earth wasn't flat, and the year 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue was also the year that the globe was invented.
Oh gosh, that's so embarrassing for us.
So how it happened was the whole story about the world being round and Columbus setting out to prove it that it was round was written by Washington Irving back in the 1800s in the 3 different volumes of some books called The Life and Voyages of Christopher Columbus.
Some fiction books, okay.
More or less. I mean,
now...
I guess you could say, fiction based on fact.
Okay.
But they never. Christopher Columbus never thought the world was flat. And he never set out to, disprove it that, it was flat. It was always, round so far as they knew anyway.
I want to call all of my elementary school history teachers and be like, hey.
Right.
What's going on?
Yeah. So another one was the whole Paul Revere thing, right? Yeah. Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was, supposed to ride, some 300 and some odd miles. What was it? From Boston to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Something crazy long.
Right. And, the British are coming. The British are coming. Blah, 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 blah.
You tell me he didn't do that?
No, it was not Paul Revere.
What?
It was actually Israel Bissell.
Who's that?
Exactly. Who is that? Nobody knows because everybody think Paul Revere was the one that did this. Israel Bissell was the one that actually, did what Paul Revere is credited for. Paul Revere only rode 19 miles. And
wow.
Yeah, it was,
and he got all the credit.
Exactly. It was Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, which a lot of you listening out there probably know as being a very famous writer. But he wrote the legend and chose Paul Revere as the hero of his story, mostly based upon the inspiring name.
Paul Revere. It is a sweet name.
Well, Israel Bissell. I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
So there's that. And my last TuRbO tidbit is all about the Yankee Doodle. Everybody knows the song, right? Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni.
Yeah, gotcha.
Now, Yankee Doodle is thought of as an American martial battle cry, especially way back in the day. It's actually a song that was written in the 1700s about the Macaroni Club. So that's why they say and called it macaroni.
Do they make macaroni paintings or pictures?
No,
what do they do?
The Macaroni Club was this.
Put on the rigatoni.
The Macaroni Club was this, a gathering of young debutante men that that would talk about fashion, culture, and cuisine. Okay, think Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, but think Ye Old Queer Eye. It was like way back in the day. And the only people that the Brits hated more than these guys in the Macaroni Club was Americans. So they would actually play it, and use it as a song to insult us. But since we didn't know that they were insulting us, we were like,
"That's awesome! Let's use it."
We know a good tune, So
nice.
yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Is that we ended up using it as a tune because it had a good beat, whatever you want to call, and it became a mainstay in American culture.
Wow.
But yeah,
so it's kind of like Queens, We Are the Champions.
Almost right,
you go to a football game or a hockey game, and we will, you hear that as everybody's getting into all these big burly sports fans.
Yes,
but really.
We Will Rock You is like
Freddie
a gay
Mercury.
anthem. Yes, it's a gay anthem. But
gotcha.
So there you go, TuRbO's tidbits for today.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right. Well, we promised something, and I think we're going to deliver.
We
do have a prize pack. We got of course, the RSU Radio bumper sticker.
That's right.
But
a
we
Wolf
also
Mother
have
sticker.
Yeah, a Wolf Mother sticker, which you found very cool that you added that in there.
Yeah.
But also a Victory Records sampler and the new Hank 3 album. All you have to do right now is be caller number 6. 343-7913 is that number. One more time, 343-7913. Be caller number 6, and you will score this RSU Radio prize pack. You know you want it. Right now, we're going to do some Born From This from Flatfoot 56. Keep it here. This is RSU Radio.
91.3 FM.
Coming up next, we got some strange and stupid news stories.
Yes, we've got some strange and stupid news stories here on Culture Shock on 91.3. Best part, and then slap.
Yes.
All right, so police in Idaho think that they have or may have solved a year-long condiment crime spree.
Really?
Who uses condiments to commit crimes?
Exactly. Well,
I don't
explain
understand
to us what's going on here.
All right. Authorities said that 74-year-old...
74?
Yeah, that's about... Well, yeah, 74 years old and using condiments to get back at people. Whatever. A Boise woman was arrested after pouring mayonnaise in the Ada County Library's book drop. She is now...
She did that every time that she did that, by the way.
Oh, that exact
evil laugh, yes.
Nice. And now she's a person of interest in about 10 other condiment-related crimes.
So she's going to just places and just pouring like mayonnaise or ketchup or mustard or whatever into
book
drops.
Maybe video stores, too.
Wow.
They didn't really elaborate on the other crimes, but...
What possesses somebody to do something like that? When somebody looks at me and says, like, because I shave my head or whatever, and I probably don't really have to, or, I get tattoos or a piercing, like, what convinces you to shave your head? What convinces somebody to do something like that?
To put mayonnaise down a book drop in a library? I don't even know.
All right. Okay.
Why? I just want to know why.
Yeah, I do
I'm mad about the $2 fine I have after having this book out for 7 years this mayonnaise.
I would love to interview this woman. And
we've got her name, so we could find her.
Maybe.
Her name is Joy L. Cassidy.
Okay.
She's from Boise. Let's look her up. She's picked up on Sunday at the library. Moments after, police say she pulled through the outside drive-thru and dumped a jar of mayo in the box designated for reading materials.
Gross.
Yeah. She was released from jail and faces a misdemeanor charge of malicious injury to property. Malicious.
Malicious. No, see, I'm going to have to get onto the law for that one. I don't know how that's malicious.
I don't think that's malicious
no, not
at
really.
all.
Gross.
Yeah, dumb.
Yeah.
But
too
not
bad
malicious.
You can't be prosecuted for being gross and dumb.
You should be able to. Let's
yeah,
make a law.
I think so, too.
Boise police say that Cassidy is under investigation for vandalism and, all that stuff. The library employees have reported finding books in the book drop box covered in corn syrup and ketchup as well. I bet it's the same lady.
Probably.
All right, now we're going to go to Florida, and if you ever listened to Loveline when you were a kid...
Yes.
You remember Adam Carolla had a theory about strange news stories?
I do not.
Everything weird comes from two places. We got Germany, and we got Florida.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because the news story I was talking about, that you can read it or I can read it. I don't care.
You can read it.
Happens to be from Germany.
And I have one right
here. From Florida. All right. Florida. Let's hear it.
So most people only worry about being crushed by a buffalo out in the wild, but it turns out...
No, not really, ever.
Yeah, I don't either. I've never worried about being crushed by a buffalo. But it turns out that animals can be dangerous when they're mounted on walls as well.
Okay.
Monroe County Sheriff deputies say that a man in the Florida Keys had to call 911 when he stuffed a water buffalo and head mounted it to the wall, and later it had fallen on him and it pinned him while he was asleep in his reclining chair.
That's the sound he made when it fell.
Wait, how'd it go? Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. So he's trapped by this moose. What was it? A buffalo. I don't remember. A buffalo. Close. While he's sleeping in his reclining chair, right? Horrifying. Calls 911. And the sheriff's office said that the call came early Friday afternoon from the man who could only yell his address and tell the operators that he had been trapped. Wow. I would love to hear the 911 call for that. I wish we had the audio.
I would love to just even talk or interview the cop that walked in on it. Like, I mean, what do you say to that? You walk into somebody's house and he's underneath a buffalo. I mean...
Probably drunk, angry.
That's something I bring that up now, and it just kind of jarred something in my memory, which is hard to do. I want to have a cop on the show. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be cool.
If there's anybody out there that sees like really crazy stuff, it'd have to be cops.
Oh yeah, my dad was a cop for a while, and he would just like the tame stories that he would tell me when I was little are nuts.
If any of you out there know a police officer that has had like some really strange things, and we want to steer away from gross accidents, of like people getting maimed or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to hear gross stuff. I want to hear like really weird, crazy, like, I don't know, a man was on his roof doing God knows what.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know, cultureshock913@hotmail.com.
That's right. So apparently this man woke up and he realized he had the buffalo head like on him and in his lap. So it was too heavy for him to lift. That's why I had to call for help.
Wow.
And he was taken to the hospital for treatment. So I wonder if he got like
impaled
with the...
by the buffalo horns?
I don't know, yeah.